Hello, what make a swing trading setup worth watching? Let's take a look at two stocks here. The first one is PCAR, and today is November 20, 2025. We are going to analyze this before the market opens today. So when you look at PCAR in relation to the highest price, because we are using maximum daily chart, in relation to the all-time highest price, we can compare the price currently. That is where the price is right now. That is why it's highlighted. And yesterday the price closed on red. The price at the end of the day, it was lower than the price in the morning when the markets opened. There was a pullback yesterday. So when you compare that in relation to the highest price, you'll notice that the price is going down. And by having maximum daily chart, you have the date on the x-axis from the past to the present, and the date and the price on the y-axis from 0 up. And having multiple years in front of you can allow you to analyze the chart from far. So we have the purple arrow, the purple support lines, and that is our value line where we want to buy. So what makes this setup worth watching is you want to be watching it to see where you are going to enter. So right now it's pulling back to the support line we like to buy at. It touched base with one, and it's been crawling around it, has not passed there yet, but we are not entirely sure if it's going to go lower. So far it's still resting on it, and as you can see, with our long up to long swing trading strategy, buying it at the value line, when it start going up from there, we could easily have gotten somewhere here when we see this higher low, but then it pull back. It didn't touch base with it and then continue up. So when you didn't buy it there, which will be an early entry, but still when you see where my arrow is, the corresponding price could still be lower than the current price. It went up, it pulled back, went up and pulled back. So if you compare those obvious V bottom, this is higher than this one, which is higher than this one. So you have three higher lows, which with a change in the pattern, because it's not just three higher lows going in the same direction, but it pulled back, it changed direction, went up and changed direction again, but keep staying higher. So that creates these short support lines here that it was following, but then it pulled back to the value line again, went up and pulled back, and again this area is higher than this one. So at this point, I just resolved not to time my entry, not to try to time my entry right, because there is a chance that I will buy it and it might remain for a while around the value line before going up. Is by keep doing it, keep analyzing, keep watching the chart of the stocks you want to buy, that you'll notice those things. You'll set some rules to follow. Those are guidelines. It's now written on stone, but as you are watching the stocks, some stocks might follow those rules you set and some may not follow it. That will make you question your own rules to begin with, to see if it's worth it or if you should improve it or make exception. And in this, for instance, the way I view it is, well, if the main thing is to know what the value line is, and from that point, when it touch base with it and start going up from there, and just after a few higher lows, 3 or so, just buy. Now wait for the pattern to change direction necessarily, because it could do that and still pull back lower, like in this case. And it could do that having higher lows even with the change in the pattern, but still pull back down even lower. So we don't need to keep trying to predict what is going to happen, but with our long option long swing trading strategy, once it is touch base with the support line, if we know that it's not going to go lower than that, depending on the stocks, because sometimes you may not have any other line below, any support line below, but they might still go lower. When you start seeing a higher low there, just buy. But again, it's just my personal reflection on it. Or way to have, 3 higher lows there, 2-3 higher lows there, and get in. And if you turn around and pull back to the valley line, you just wait. If you pull below it a little bit, you just wait. If you pull way far below, if you want to buy some more, you do it or you don't. But then it all comes down to choose a good stocks to trade with, stocks that you can invest in long term. Choose that to swing trade, so that if you purchase it at a higher price, you just leave it in your portfolio until it comes back, surpass where you purchase it, and make profit in it for you to sell it. And this will be another example of that, because we purchase it there. I have arrow facing up, show where we purchase, and arrows facing down shows where we sold. And this we purchase it around this support line. When they pull back to it and start going up, and we have low that is higher than this, that is higher than this, and we purchase it pull back to touch base with the valley line, the support line, went up, we became positive in it. We are using daily line, so every candlestick is a day time frame. But guess what? It pulled all the way back down. At this point, if we want to buy some more, we can, because it's at the valley line that we highlighted to buy at. And yesterday the price dropped, and this low is higher than this one. So like I'm comparing the red bar. So if today is a green bar, there is a little bit higher, we can buy. If it's a little bit lower, we can buy. It has been around this valley line for since April, that it has been moving around this valley line. So there is a possibility it may not go lower than this. But again, they are all assumptions. It might. Then if it did that, we want to buy some, we can. But it will be good. And it seems to me that we purchased it right there in 2024 using short option and swing trading strategy, because we purchased it and sold it multiple times, and then we purchased it again right where we have the highest price, and it was done. So we have a negative there when it was around this valley, this I would say valley line, but at this point it could well be a supporting line supporting the upside wall of the mountain, but it looked more like a valley line to those mountains since it's passing by their bottom. So you can see that it touched base with it and start going up, pull back, and so forth. So when it was close to it again, we purchased it. So it was not in some way a bad entry here in relation to, where it touched base with it. But guess what? It was done with it pulled back lower. So if we want, we have money in the account, we might buy some more here. If it pull back here, why not? We might buy some more. And then just let it be until it claim. That is just options. At this point, that is going into 2026. That is the strategy I'm thinking about using. Take a laid back approach, but it all comes down to pick a good stocks to swing trade. And we like to do that by picking stocks that has been around for decades, went through at least one recession and survived to tell the tale. And we can see that we have this valley line here that it has not touched base in a while, but there is a possibility it might come down to it. So it has been quite up, and at this point we can just keep an eye on it, not buy it here, wait to see if it's going to come down here, because there is a chance it might come down here if it seems like it was just too higher up and wanted to pull back. So that is what makes this chart worth watching, because there is multiple entry point for us, and we don't know which one is really going to use as the valley line before start going up again. We might choose to buy at each one of those support line, or continue waiting if we do not have a lot of money in the account, or we prefer to allocate that money to another stocks, and just keep observing it, because there are things to observe about it to see the right point to buy it. That is what makes it worth watching, so that we don't miss the window. So the next one we are going to analyze is PJ. So PJ, we have this support line that we like to buy at, and what makes it worth watching is it breached it and continue going lower. That makes us think, maybe it's done with this circle. In fact, the circle started there, went all the way there, came back down at this point. I think it's not about this circle at all. It could even be one bigger. Therefore, we could go to maximum monthly chart to see what we are missing here. So we can see that we have this line that we trace to buy at. So what makes it worth watching is we have a value line we like to buy at. It has not been there yet, and we have not purchased it yet. So it's worth keeping an eye on it to see, when it reaches there, we can buy some. Unless it start going up from where it is, then we can get in it. But we can see that this value line that we trace that it has been using to claim, maybe may not be a value line at all. It might just be a supporting line supporting the upside wall of the mountain. If it come back down here, this will be a big mountain with this support line supporting the upside wall of it. And that is the things, be able to distinguish the support line supporting the upside wall of the mountain for those growth stocks that have a steep growth from their valley line can be challenging at a time. So especially with this one that takes multiple years of growth before it will pull back. So especially if it pulls back to this one, to this valley line. So it might be good to keep an eye on it so that we can buy at this valley line, because if we buy, there is a chance that we can just keep it in the portfolio for this number of years of growth. And on the maximum monthly chart, you have those dotted lines that are year time frame. So you can count it to see how many years it has been going up from $67 to $180, more than double that price within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So 7 worth years to keep in the portfolio, or half that time frame, because again, to find that value line, it could be a while. So for that reason, it's worth keeping an eye on it. If that's a stock you are interested in, it has higher lows at the valley and higher highs at the peak. So it's worth watching if you want to buy it, so that you can buy it at the valley line when it touch base with it and start going up from there, especially when we have multiple that we selected and we think those two could be entry points, but this could be higher up since it's already breached, but it could just go lower a little bit and start going up from there. Keeping an eye on it will allow us to notice that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We thank you very much for your time, and thank you for all your comments. Thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, and ninasoap.com our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way to save money. Just start small and grow your account from there. For more of our swing trading strategy, will you please check the playlist in the description of this video. And this video is brought to you by Liberman.com, our online store. And we have a tote bag listed. If you are interested, if you are looking for a gift, will you please check it out to see if that's something you like to buy. We sold to sell, and that is our online store. Thank you for your time.